Welcome to the Guide to Wellness podcast. I'm Susanna, licensed acupuncturist. We're here to chat about health and well-being. Just a reminder, everything in this podcast is information only, not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It's useful information to maintain a healthy life balance. Hi, everyone. I'm Susanna Freeman, your host of the Guide to Wellness podcast, a place where we discuss topics that simplify traditional and oriental medicine and functional medicine to support your healthy life. We have Dawn DeVaz here as well today, our health coach here at Great Turning Healing Center. She's a lovely human being with a lot to offer. We're looking forward to hearing her coach us through today's topic. So today's topic, if you're all ready, buckle your seatbelt. We're ready to chat about detoxification and how it can lead to renewal. What do you mean by that? It can be kind of a dirty subject, if you don't mind me saying so, rife with tension and hype. A year or so ago, a patient of ours called it the C word, meaning cleanse. A lot of people have a lot of trepidation about cleansing, so we're here to make that word, that concept, smooth out a little for you. So back to this patient a year ago, fast forward to today, just chatting with her today, and she's like, yep, I just did another cleanse and it went really well, and her whole life has changed, and she's confident, she's relaxed. She doesn't cleanse every day, but she uses it as needed to promote her health, and it's working really, really well. At first it was intimidating, and we gave her a bunch of guidance, and now she's on her own. So consider that. I've led detoxification programs with patients for 25 years or more. I do it myself, usually once a year. In small and important ways, I do it every day. In our clinic, our outcome is to guide people through a process of detoxification. We use a lot of care and personal attention, so the overall outcome is really positive. I'd say, quite honestly, it's one of the most impactful things we do.
I would definitely agree with that, Susanna, and thanks for sharing that story. I also have a client who has done some detox in her life, particularly her diet, changing to a gluten-free diet, and she has experienced a lot of benefits from making changes for herself. It's been great to see her health improving with renewing her own body systems and lifestyle habits, and through that process of healthy detox and regular coaching, she is really thriving, which is phenomenal to see. It's what we all like to see in the people we work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, after somebody goes through a renewal program, do people just go back to their old ways, or like what are you supposed to do afterwards? We're gonna
question.
Maybe get into that a little bit.
Yeah, we're human beings. We all slide at times. The important thing to remember is how to pick yourself back up when you fall down, right? If you get a skinned knee, you brush yourself off. Maybe you need a Band-Aid. Maybe go to the doctor. You get back on track. So the follow-up is the most important step in a detox. And here's what we mean by that. First, you've taken out the trash, right? And you've got a nice clean house, and you're feeling great, and you're feeling stronger and more energy and confidence than you imagined. And you're finding ways to stay healthy and eat the foods that make you feel better. And we help you along the way with what these next steps are. Once your baseline is higher, better, stronger, it's harder to slide back. And if you slide back, you don't go back as far, and you know how to bring yourself back to a state of renewal and good health. So that's really the secret in everything we do here, I think, is that we're humans, we get sick, we have life happen. What do you do when you're down in the hole to get yourself back out, and how do you do it more easily? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So starting off with a higher baseline of health and nutrition and ability to detoxify and having all those pathways supported is what helps you not slide back so far and get right back to it when you've slid. Okay, I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's digestion and detox is absolutely fundamental to good health. So I look forward to hearing more. And as our guests listen today, Susanna is going to share short but very geeky, I'm sure, biology and lesson on detox pathways so that you have the answer of why, or at least some ideas of why on detox and renewal. And then you'll hear some tricks and reminders for how to do this yourself at home. And we'll give you a glimpse of our seasonal renewal course. So if you are interested and aware that you could use more guidance and individualized attention around this topic, you can absolutely reach out to us for more information, and we're going to be prepared to help you. Take it away.
Thanks, Dawn. So, as y'all may know, I'm trained in traditional Oriental medicine and functional medicine. So when I speak, it's in terms of organ systems, and I use a mind-body approach. So in traditional Oriental medicine, we also call it traditional Chinese medicine, all function in the body is described according to organ systems, and they're broader than they are described in Western medical viewpoints. So the liver system, for example, is something that includes how we regulate energy and all processes in the body. Liver disease clearly is seen as a liver pattern, but a tension headache or premenstrual tension or irritability or insomnia can also be described as liver patterns. So tension in the body is a function of the wood element or the liver system, and even though it's not a disease process. So patterns in the body are all explained functionally. I know it's a little confusing, but I often think of it like a Venn diagram, right? So you could have like a tension headache is a liver pattern, but it's not a liver disease. Okay? So everything in the body is described in terms of these organ systems, and then this is a topic for another day, but the 5-element system is a huge part of traditional Oriental medicine. So today we're talking about the wood element.
Okay.
And primarily the liver system, but we're going to expand beyond that. All right? So in thinking about the 5 elements and in thinking about detoxification and renewal, we're going to be talking about all the seasons over the course of the year. And right now, we're talking about springtime. So in traditional Oriental medicine, springtime is the season of detoxification and renewal. It's the time of the liver. It's the time of budding and rising energy. And the focus is on the smooth flow of energy and emotion, and the emphasis is on detox. And we see patients in the clinic getting a spike in tension and moodiness in the springtime. They might get headaches. They might get more cranky. Everything might just get a little bit edgy. And when we treat the liver system in these people, everything smooths out and they get a lot happier, and whatever health issues they were dealing with are easier. So that's really cool.
Great. So as we move through the year, as you had mentioned, on this podcast, we'll be taking each season and talking about the corresponding organ systems, and as well as how to detox and renew for that season and that system. So stay tuned. We've got Heart of Summer, which will be the season of heart and circulation.
Fun.
Yeah. Late Summer, Reset and Relax, which is spleen, digestion. Fall harvest time, lung and colon. It's going to be so interesting to hear about what you talk about, because these are all kind of unusual associations for
I love talking about this stuff.
Folks.
Stay tuned.
And finally, and probably the one that sounds so nice to me right now, is deep winter restoration for kidney and adrenal.
Looking forward to it. All right. So back to springtime. I promised you we'd geek out a little bit. So here's your biology lesson, biology of detoxification. And the reason why I want to talk about this is just so we have an understanding of why this is important and how do you detox the body and why, and that'll give you tools for how to be healthier in your life. So detoxification in its broad scientific definition is the metabolic process of removing unwanted fat-soluble compounds from the body. These unwanted compounds can be foreign or exogenous, such as chemicals in the environment or in our food. They can also be endogenous, meaning just too much of any one thing, or what we call dirty hormones, are some examples.
What exactly is a dirty hormone?
I know, right? It's not a scientific term, is it? So these are hormones. Estrogen is the classic example. Any hormone, it could be happening, gets recycled back into the body instead of being excreted. But it's in a form that's harmful and causes symptoms. It's not comfortable. It's not an effective chemical in the body. And one cause is from a very specific bacteria in the gut. When that gets out of proportion, that bacteria, it can cause our body to hold on to estrogen, for example, instead of getting rid of it through the colon. The good news is when we clear this bacteria and bring it back into balance, and it's multiple bacteria, it's not just one, the gram negatives, we can clear these dirty estrogens. And in women, this is a really important piece to menstrual health. So that's an example of a dirty hormone or dirty estrogen. It can be life-changing for some people who are really dealing with estrogen dominance in particular. So detoxification happens all over the body, but mostly in the liver, and that's our topic for today. Other seasons, we'll talk about other systems. In traditional Oriental medicine, we speak of liver qi stagnation, when the liver is not processing well. It's not a disease state, remember, right? We feel moody, tense and angry, fatigued, maybe depressed. We might have irritable bowel syndrome or a headache. Sound familiar? So I think we all deal with this on some level here and there throughout our lives. In simple English, detox is about breaking down the garbage in the liver, and then we take out the trash with our pee and our poop. So hopefully you didn't mess with our clean ratings on the show, but I just wanted you all to get some real sense of detox. Sounds so scientific, and really it's just about what are you putting in, how are you getting rid of it when it's no longer useful.
Yeah, and that you have these natural functions in your body. It's just a matter of supporting them and helping your body do the thing it's supposed to do.
Yep. Out with the old, in with the new. Okay, detoxification reactions follow 3 steps or 3 phases, and you may have heard of these before, and they have the ultimate goal of converting a toxin into an inert, water-soluble form for excretion. So these phases are transform, conjugate, and transport. Phase 1 reactions transform the toxin into a chemical form that can be metabolized by phase 2 enzymes. So phase 1 reactions are performed primarily by the cytochrome P450 enzymes. You may have heard this in talking about how we get rid of or metabolize medications and chemicals. Phase 1 molecules are still toxic, so they have to be converted into phase 2 substances. Phase 2 reactions conjugate or attach a toxin to water-soluble substances to increase the toxin's water solubility. This form makes it easier for the body to get rid of toxins. And there are many processes of conjugation. A mentor of mine calls these SMAG to help us remember them all and add a little bit of humor. So here we go. Here they are: sulfation, methylation, acetylation, glutathione, and glucuronidation. Say that 10 times fast, right? So here's the good news, is that we support these pathways every day in clinic with recommendations on nutrition and herbs and vitamins and minerals. So we bring it right back home with, why do we suggest you take vitamin C? Okay. Why do we suggest you eat grass-fed beef or broccoli, right? Because we're trying to support these pathways. This is how we detox. Okay. Phase 3 detoxification involves the transport of the transformed conjugated toxin into or out of cells. So different phase 3 transport proteins work in concert to shuttle toxins from different parts of the body into the bile or to the urine for excretion. When the liver detoxifies toxins, they're sent to the intestines through the bile. Remember, that's processed in the liver, stored in the gallbladder, and then released. They can also send toxins by the blood to the kidneys to be processed and then sent out through the urine. So check back in next winter. We'll be talking more about the kidneys. If the gut is working properly, it can remove toxins directly and release them back into the intestinal lumen so they can be excreted. Remember, that just means to poop, okay? That's why it's so important you have a really healthy elimination. If it's inflamed, if the gut is inflamed, we're not going to be able to remove those toxins effectively. So it's really, really important that the colon is a part of the detox pathways in a very, very integral way. Also, the kidneys filter and further process toxins and excrete them out of the body. So lots of different toxins are removed from the body, primarily by the liver, gut, and kidney, but also toxins are removed with our breathing through the lungs, with our sweat through the skin, and also with tears and laughter. These are really important ways that we can shed stress and toxicity through the body. So don't forget those. They're important. So we need all of our organs working together. It's a team effort.
Yeah, I feel like that's true of the way we work in the clinic as well. Not only are we trying to help your organs work together, we are working together with you as well.
Love it.
So now you have an understanding of why and what detoxification is. For the how, here are some tips that you can do at home to feel a little bit healthier. First, reduce exposure to toxins. So avoid plastics, especially if they're heated. One of the ways I do this, I don't even put my plastic Tupperware through the dishwasher. Part of that is that it degrades the plastic, but that also means exposing yourself to more of that.
Right. Good one.
Having more houseplants. We can always use
Yay.
more of those. Minimizing alcohol, junk food, medications whenever possible. And seeing the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. And one way that you can find these lists is through EWG. If you just look up EWG, they'll have a Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen list. And what that is saying we have these foods, usually produce, that are clean, that you can eat, that have fewer pesticides, fewer toxins, just in everyday purchasing. Whereas the Dirty Dozen are going to be recommendations that you might buy organic to avoid those because they have higher amounts of those toxins.
Nice. So you can save a little money by focusing just on the organics that you really need to if you're on a grocery budget.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Another way is to breathe. And if you didn't check out our previous podcast, we walked you through one of those methods called box breathing. Check it out, and you'll get to have that experience for yourself.
Cool.
There are a lot of other breathwork things. So there's Wim Hof, yogic breathing, and what that really does is clear out that extra junk using your deep breathing in your lungs. Staying hydrated, drink lots of water. I know that one of Susanna's favorite ways to do that is a little sea salt with lemon in warm water every morning, which what a great way to start the day and support your systems. And making sure you drink plenty of water throughout the day as well. We have dry brushing, which is, I believe, traditionally an Ayurvedic technique that you can use anywhere from your bare hands, just rubbing down the length of your arms and your legs a little bit. And you can increase that texture almost as you are able to tolerate it all the way up to like a loofah, something that's going to be scratchier.
Or even just a dry washcloth works really well.
That's a great mid-range one. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And then healing your gut, which is our focus, is by eating fiber-rich foods that are going to support you, decreasing that gut inflammation. That's going to be huge. Supporting the liver, which we were just talking about, and supporting it in that phase 1 and phase 2 gut detoxification with specific supplements, those can be really helpful in supporting the liver. Sweating, cardio, sauna, both sound lovely. Cold exposure, getting that hot and cold alternating exposure, maybe taking a cold shower or ending your shower with a cold rinse.
Yep.
Fasting, intermittent fasting, or time-restricted eating. And tears and laughter, as you had said. Just getting that expression of any built-up emotions, and both positive and burdensome, any of them, out of your body, and getting that new space for new stuff to come in and keep that cycle going.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, Dawn. So to summarize all that, what we're talking about like with the cold exposure, cold shower, fasting, some other podcast episode, we'll talk about time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting and how to do that in a way that's safe and manageable and good for you. The whole point here is that we're forcing the body into quite literally a cell die-off or senescence, and then it activates the body to renew itself. When you force those cells to die off or to body to shut down, it triggers a healing response metabolically. So that's the purpose of fasting, is it's not what's happening during the fast as much as what's happening afterwards. And let us know if you want some specific data points on that. We've got lots of resources at the clinic we use to teach people about why that reactivation is so important. Anything else about how to cleanse at home? I think we covered the gamut. Should we just talk about it in more detail down the road?
Yeah, it's hard to say because every single one of these things is
Right.
almost a topic in and of itself.
Indeed.
We could go down the rabbit hole, but
All right.
I think we got a good base covered.
Perfect. And above all, if you're listening to this, use your good judgment. If you have low cortisol output, if you have a thyroid disorder, if you don't digest fats well, you do need to be careful with things like fasting. So that's where a medical provider can really come in to help individuals understand how to be safe and healthy and not to cause yourself further stress. That's not the idea. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So we geeked out a lot. I want to follow up on my promise to talk about the mind-body approach. This is something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately in my own meditations and my own thoughts in the world, and thinking about detoxification as it relates to a broader perspective that we can't hold on to the bigger problems in the world. It just doesn't work as one individual human being, and yet we all want to make a difference in the world. So a better approach is to take in what we need, take skillful action, and then let go of what's no longer useful. Because if you hold on to all of it, you get overwhelmed, and then you're no good to anybody.
Yes.
So here's some inspiration for you that will help you think about making room for the good stuff and how to do that. There's a poet named Mark Nepo, and he wrote a book called The Book of Awakening, and it's a daily reader for a year. And on February 23rd, he wrote a little passage called To Hold Nothing Back. And here's a little paraphrase of what he said. It's a beautiful book. He said, to hold nothing back in every breath means staying committed to letting whatever we experience make its way in and letting whatever is in make its way out. Simply and profoundly, our very breath can serve as a reminder that life is only possible if the exchange of inner and outer is undisturbed. Letting things in, and in turn letting things out, is a spiritual practice that rinses the mind and the heart. Thank you, Mark Nepo. And I would add, this also rinses the body, allowing us to have more energy for the people and the things that are important to us in our lives and to make a difference in the world. So remember, detoxification leads to renewal. And with that, we have an invitation for you to join us in a detoxification program, either by yourself or with us this spring in the clinic.
Yes, we're very excited about this. We've been working on it for a little while. Our seasonal renewal Spring Up is beginning in early spring. This is a 6-week program where you'll learn the ins and outs of digestion and detoxification, which is the first of 5 pillars of health. When you join us for Renewal, you'll receive education content, resources to take home, as well as 6 weeks of topic-based virtual coaching with myself, Dawn.
Yay.
Each participant will have the opportunity to experience one of our detoxification supplement programs selected just for you based on your individual needs and biology. At Great Turning, we operate with the principle of test, not guess. This means that we, 1, test to uncover any underlying causes to your symptoms, 2, treat you based on findings and appropriate care for your individual case, and 3, teach you those foundational skills for your health and wellness that you can use in all areas of your life. You'll have the support of our full care team through the entirety of your program, from Susanna, myself, and our acupuncturist, Jack Schwem. This is also going to include one free acupuncture session with Jack. So if you find yourself needing support at any point, you're welcome to make an appointment with him. Digestion and detoxification is fundamental to good health, and we are going to make sure that you walk away with the knowledge and skills to lead your own renewal for years to come. So if you're interested, for more information and to join us for Spring Up Seasonal Renewal, please call the clinic at 406-599-0088 or email admin@greatturninghealing.com. You may also find us on Facebook, Instagram at Great Turning Healing, And we're really excited to work with you all.
Thanks, Dawn. We're looking forward to working with you all for sure. And we want to thank you for joining us and chatting about detox and renewal today. See you next time and have a great day.